Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jerry Cooey.
I'm Deborah Nelson.
And you have found us on the beautiful Mediacom. We're happy that you're with us. Don't forget, you can watch any and all of our shows on YouTube.
And you can also buy an ad during our show at very reasonable prices.
Yes, somewhere between free and $2,000 or $3,000.
Yeah,
we have
the lower end of it between that.
We have a pricing target for all groups.
Yes, we have a rate for everybody. We
right.
work cheap.
Right, and also, folks, if you have a nonprofit event that you'd like for us to get the word out on, give us enough time, and we'll be more than happy to do that.
Speaking of nonprofit events, I was at Earth Day last weekend.
Just a second, folks. Does it surprise you? And were there trees there?
Was
there one tree per tree hugger that was there?
There was quite a turnout.
Okay, go ahead.
There was a very large turnout. It was a little bit rainy, and a lot of people still showed up.
Right.
I was at Earth Day, and I got something for you.
Okay.
And we've discussed the Tea Party issues. And a very nice gentleman was there, and he was representing the Coffee Party of America, which is arisen as sort of a response to the Tea Party.
They don't get out on the highway and protest; they drink coffee and protest, basically.
Well, they have some differing foundation views than some of the Tea Party members, I think.
And I do appreciate you bringing that to me. And I know you got to, but you said something in that I want to address. Look, folks, I consider myself a member of the Tea Party. I've been out there slinging tea in the harbor since about 1991, to be quite honest with you. The movement has kind of come in around me. I appreciate all the folks that are standing up. I do believe that we need to take our country back. Now, I will tell you folks, is there some radical people in the Tea Party? Sure. There's some radical people at churches. There's some radical people in the Boy Scouts of America. That does not paint. You can't take that broad brush and just brush the whole group.
No, of course not. But the Tea Party has been associated with far-right conservatism.
Associated by a liberal media who does not want the Congress changed out because the Congress that's there does what they want them to do.
First of all, the media, the mainstream media, not including people like us, of course, the mainstream media is not liberal. It's corporatist, okay? It's not liberal.
They're corrupt.
They're very corrupt. They're not liberal in any way, shape, or form. But I think if you talk about a left-right divide and you look at the Tea Party, I think there are many, many issues that the Tea Party people have in common with people on the left. But I think that maybe a lot of them are coming at it from a very different perspective. And
the problem with this whole thing is, and I'll tell you what, I sent my flaming email to the management of Pensacola News Journal over Reggie's piece. My comments are, number one, do not use a derogatory term about a group of people. I do not run into a group of people and use a derogatory term because there's a couple jerks in the crowd. Right? I'm not that kind of a person, and I don't appreciate it. And the media across the board seem to get some great thrill out of using a very derogatory term to describe the Tea Party.
That is true. My objection with the way the media, the corrupt mainstream media, has handled the Tea Party, the whole Tea Party thing, is I've never actually seen any of them go out with a camera and ask any of those people on the mall, the Washington Mall, even in this area, any of them, what exactly are you upset about?
When they actually do take a camera out there, they find the guy with the Nazi swastika on a billboard and ask him questions. That person is not representative of the Tea Party movement.
Right.
The Tea Party movement is no different than when we left England to come over here under unfair taxation with zero representation. Look, I'm upset. Deborah's been with me the 6 times I've read the First Amendment to the Constitution. Folks, elected officials have looked at me like I'm an alien from outer space. when I read the U.S. Constitution to them that says I have the right to peacefully assemble for a redress of grievances with my government. They look at me like I'm a nut. All right? That's what we got to get back to. That is one thing. And Reggie, if you happen to watch this show or any of the people involved with the newspapers or the media in any way, since you don't have the common courtesy to get out of your car and ask some of the more mainstream people in the Tea Party membership what they're angry about, I'm angry about we have elected officials that have turned their back on the Constitution. Do you realize that every single elected official in the United States of America, they put their left hand on a Bible, they raise their right hand to God, and they swear to God.
Except for Ellison.
They swear to God that they are going to uphold and defend the Constitution.
Right.
State of Florida, whatever state they're in, and the U.S. Constitution. These people wouldn't know, they couldn't find the U.S. Constitution to start out with. They're so far away from it now.
Well,
that's number one that we're angry about. Number two is the ridiculous stupidity. I may go to stroke level here. We have a 18-person group that is put together to figure out. We're concerned about our deficit spending. We've got 18 people that are going to look into this. Hey, Obama, you don't need 18 people to look at it. I can explain it to you in about 30 seconds. Spend, 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 spend. Hand it to your friends. Take care of Acorn. Stupid rules, stupid regulations, a health care plan nobody wants. It's billions of dollars. It's not hard to figure out. Don't need 18 people to look at it.
It's a health care plan that's a gift to private industry. But I think what we've seen happen with this media coverage of the Tea Party stuff is that they've emphasized the differences between the conservative and the liberal sort of perspectives on this stuff. And by not talking to anybody, there's no sense that there's any common ground in there. And I think there's a lot of common ground in there. And we were talking about that this weekend. Most people who are really liberals are very upset about the bailouts. They're very upset about the fact that the so-called health care reform is actually a giveaway to wealthy corporate interests, which is eventually going to just really soak the middle class and worsen the economic situation with the
health care costs are going up across the board right now.
Exactly.
Just with the threat of this.
Exactly.
It doesn't even take effect for 4 years.
They're upset that we've decided we're going to go with this ridiculous cap and trade instead of actually doing something about pollution, et cetera, et cetera. But when you focus on the guy with the swastika, or the lady who's screaming, racial epithets or whatever, then you're not focusing on the real stuff, and that's really the crime that has been committed by the mainstream media with this Tea Party stuff.
Well, look. Let's go down.
They don't want left and right to talk about the bailouts because nobody disagrees on the bailouts.
Let's go down if we want to talk about groups. Let's go down to the Pensacola News Journal. Let's look at those employees. Well, if I hang Carl Wernicke and I say that everybody at the Pensacola News Journal is like Carl Wernicke, well, that wouldn't be fair because they're all not like him, and that's what the media has done. They look, honestly, they look for the nut in the crowd.
No, honestly, they look for what is not going to upset their big sponsors, their big advertisers. So just in the because we don't support any party on the show, so just in the interest of being fair and balanced and bipartisanship or nonpartisanship, I'm just going to read you the Coffee Party movement.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear the Coffee Party movement.
We'll see if you think they're close to the Tea Party. Okay. We'll discuss that. Gives voice to Americans who want cooperation in government. Recognizes that the federal government is not the enemy of the people, but the expression of our collective will.